Here are the pros and cons to moving to Denver, or more specifically, Colorado as a whole. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mitch Maffey, your favorite redheaded realtor. Let's just dive right on in. This is going to be a pros and cons list of things that are great about living in Colorado and things that maybe aren't so good. I may refer to my list because I want to make sure that I stay on track for you guys. So let's kick this off right away. Pro number one, Colorado has the 6th best economy in the entire United States. Now, tons of companies, tons of economic forums track all of this information, all of this data, and Colorado consistently ranks in the top 10, and more specifically, most recently, I should say, ranked number 6. And a big driving factor for that was the fact that the job growth in the job market here is higher than the national average, and the unemployment rate is consistently below the national average. On top of that, Denver and Colorado Springs, two of the biggest cities in the state, consistently rank in the top 20 most educated cities in the entire country. So having a very robust job market with tons of massive companies calling Denver their home and a ton of new industries constantly emerging in the state, paired with having very educated residents, makes for just a winning 1-2 combo in that job market of lots of growth and low unemployment rates. Now, let's dive into the first potential con. All right, con number one, and this goes hand in hand with just about any market in the country where you have such a massive amount of people and such a robust job market. That does typically bring with it con number one, and that is a higher cost of living. Now, this data that I'm going to be referring to, I pulled from RamseySolutions.com, and it does mirror just about all of the other information that you can find that is up to date, recent, as of the time you're watching this video. Now, Colorado's cost of living tends to be about 7% higher than the national average. And you probably guessed it if you've been watching the channel. The majority of that reason is because of our housing costs. Housing consistently ranks around 15% higher than the national average. However, on the flip side of this coin, things like groceries and utilities tend to rank below the national average. So what you pay more for housing, you pay less for groceries and utilities and daily life as well. Alrighty, pro number two on our list, things to know before moving to Denver or Colorado. Good Lord, the weather is near perfect year round. You can read all about it online. Colorado has 300 plus days of sunshine per year and more hours of sunshine annually than Miami and San Diego. That's not to say the weather here doesn't suck sometimes, but more times than not, it's going to be sunny, it's going to be mild, it's going to be absolutely wonderful weather. It is very common for us to be in the middle of wintertime, think January, February, and it be approaching the high 50s, low 60 degrees. Snow typically doesn't stick around long in the Denver metro area. It's one of those things. We get snow, it doesn't stay, and it's 60 degrees the day after a snowstorm. Now, tying right into the next con on our list, well, we can have some pretty extreme weather. It is very common for it to still snow late in the year. Think May, think June, because of the meshing of the air temperatures, and everybody here locally knows that in late spring and early summer to always try and keep your car parked underneath some sort of cover. Otherwise, it may just get totaled out by hail. The cold air mixing with the hot air tends to create the perfect storm, no pun intended, for hail to form and take out your car and do a lot of property damage. In 2017, we had the most damage ever recorded, and it caused $3.5 million worth of property damage in one storm. Now, in the wintertime, it is also very common for it to get extremely cold. Just last winter, we had a week where it was below zero, 10 to 15 degrees in the middle of the afternoon below zero. This was a super weird cold snap, but it does get to 0 degrees more often than I think I would personally like. Now, it was funny that winter. I remember after the cold snap broke, going outside to take the trash out and it being 35 degrees and feeling downright tropical compared to what it had been just the week before. Next pro on our list here, world famous skiing and outdoor activities. It's no secret that Colorado's outdoors are absolutely stunning. Most of the Denver metro area is just a stone throws away from Rocky Mountains and the Rocky Mountain National Park. On top of that, Colorado has over 30 different ski resorts. So if you are somebody that likes to spend time outdoors, hiking, biking, mountain biking, rock climbing, whitewater rafting, doing all of the outdoorsy things, Colorado is the perfect place for you to be able to do so. Now, rolling right into the next con on our list, the summertime here is, well, it's fire season. The state tends to be pretty dry. We are a high elevation desert as far as our climate goes, which just means it's the perfect breeding ground, unfortunately, for forest fires. So, few months out of the year, few weeks out of the year, the air quality here isn't the best. So if you are somebody that has asthma or allergies related to things like that, it is something that you should definitely take into consideration. I've had asthma my whole life, and there are a few weeks where I keep my inhaler with me. Otherwise, it is very well under control. That high altitude, that constantly moving around here does actually keep you in a little bit better shape just by default than if we were, say, at sea level. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Typically, it's these mountain areas that are affected by it. However, there have been some that have reached down into the Denver metro area. So keep that in mind. That's why that ties directly in with the pro of outdoor activities, that con, again, being fire season every year. Alrighty, now the next pro on our list here is the healthcare system. Colorado is the 7th best state in the entire United States as far as our quality of healthcare goes. Now, Colorado residents are the 4th lowest at risk for heart disease and have the 5th lowest cancer diagnoses in the entire country, with an average ER wait time across the state of only 13 minutes. Now, that is something that is amazing. That's something to definitely consider when moving here. Now, the con that ties directly into that, well, that comes at a cost. Colorado's healthcare on average is 14% more expensive than the national average. So on one hand, you have award-winning, amazing healthcare and an amazing quality of healthcare. On the other, it does come at a cost, and that is more expensive. Now, we're gonna wrap this up here. Bonus pro on this list of pros and cons is we are probably the most pet-friendly state with the most pet-friendly cities in the entire country. It's estimated that 4 out of every 5 Colorado residents have a pet, and the most popular being dogs. We're seeing more and more restaurants and more public areas pop up that are dog friendly, so your furry friend doesn't have to stay at home for you to go out and enjoy the wonderful weather that we have here year round. That's the list. Everything that you need to know before making the move to Colorado or the Denver metro area. Once again, my name is Mitch Maffey, your favorite redheaded realtor. I'll see you guys in the next one.